Now you also mentioned that, you can't measure meaningful conversations,
Right.
right? So let's just talk about social connections.
Okay.
Now, obviously, in this day and age, we live in the world of followers and Facebook friends and so on and so forth, right? But obviously, those aren't really social connections. It's
No.
just there.
No.
So, like, if people want to really avoid feeling lonely, how many social connections does like a person actually need, and what counts as a real social connection?
Well, the first question is easy to answer. We don't know how many you need.
Okay.
What is more important is how many do you have that are really meaningful, and how many are enough for you? Because there might be people who, like we said a few minutes ago, depending whether you're introverted or extroverted, um, some people who are extroverted will need more friends than people who are introverted. So a
Yeah.
person who does not really require a lot of social stimulation may be happy with two or three good friends. A person
Mm,
who is more extroverted may need double the number of those, six or seven friends. Um, I don't think that you can really have a whole bunch of good friends. And what do I mean by good friends? Um, I mean friends who are not there for utilitarian purposes. In other words, if you can, let's say that someone gives you a lift every day to your workplace, right? And one week he gives you a lift, and next week you reciprocate by giving him a lift. And you talk in the car and you have a pleasant conversation, but you never ever have anything else to do with that particular person outside of the car, right?
yeah.
Okay, that's not a friendship.
Yeah. Yeah. Just an acquaintance.
That's an acquaintanceship. That's a
Yeah.
utilitarian. In other words, it serves a purpose.
Yeah.
Or you may have a friend with whom you play tennis, once a week.
Mm,
But again, it's fairly restricted to the time that you play tennis and that you call him or her to make an appointment for tennis. But again, it's utilitarian, or you partake in the same pleasure, which is tennis or baseball or whatever. A true friend is something totally different. A true friend is a person with whom you can really be yourself and you feel accepted, and you can say things that will stay confidential, um, and you can disagree and navigate
yeah.
those disagreements and not worry that it's somehow going to torpedo the friendship. So it has to be consistent, it has to be ongoing, it has to be trusting and meaningful.
Okay. Okay. Great. Yeah, that is really important. Yeah, pretty much a real friend comes down to someone you could just truly be yourself with, and they, fully accept you. And also, both people should be able to share pain
Yeah,
and secrets without feeling like, okay, this person is going to go tell someone else. Having that trust is extremely important. And this is also really important. Being able to not agree on things
yes,
and still maintain the friendship, which is you know, especially nowadays, like over the past 10 years, we've had this issue, right? People have a hard time maintaining friendships if they don't agree on topics that might be quite
right,
heated, like politics and so on and so
right,
forth.
right,
And okay, yeah, so
right.
that's really important.
Yeah, you said secrets. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's really important. So being honest is important in terms of friendships,
yeah,
and also having the sense of security that if you tell your friend that perhaps he or she said something that hurt your feelings, you don't keep it to yourself, but you
yeah.
actually express it. So not sort of collect resentments, but it's very important to actually speak about that.
Got it. Great. And then yeah, like when it comes down to how many social connections a person actually needs, again, that's going to be really like dependent on who you are as a person. Some people need a bit more. Some people can, do it like 2 or 3.
Right.
And again, it just comes down to who you are. Great.
Right.
Okay, so